In the context of defense services, patriotism demands readiness to even lay down one's life in protecting the nation. According to you, what does patriotism imply in everyday life, civil life? Explain with illustration, justify your answer. Yes. So what you will write? First, patriotism you define. Patriotism, what is patriotism that we have told this. So talking that patriotism, then you talk relate defense forces. Basically those who people join defense forces, they have an urge, it can be considered, they have an urge to serve for the country, serve country by going in defense forces, being in defense forces. It is one of the factors that motivates them to join. Right. Society also recognizes in that way. Society also identifies in that way. The people, those who work, or if you, who are patriotic, the patriotic means those people working in defense forces. It is all across the world. You can a bit थोड़ा सा अब कैनवास उसको बड़ा करोगे, आप थोड़ा सा और लिंक करोगे. जैसे मान लो इजराइल में क्या है, तो मिलिट्री ट्रेनिंग इज मैंडेटरी. This military training is mandatory. So people, when they serve in military, so we think that they are patriotic. That part you will try to establish. This. Then let's say that readiness lay down one's life. This. And then let's say that this is how patriotism also means that for the sake of country they should sacrifice their life. So you can find that how people are fighting Jammu and Kashmir, Northeast, wartime, and they cannot run away, let's say that. Even their leaves, let's say the leave, they have gone on leave, that can be also cancelled, they can be called back, and that is how they have to sacrifice. And they do it happily, right, as they have patriotism. So patriotism, let's say that brings them to do this sacrifice for the country. Even you can find that those persons who sacrifice, their family members, children are also motivated to join and give their life for the give their life in the service of the country. This, so that can be written like this. Answer है लिखना है. Right. According to larger aspect जो हमने बताया है वो है, right, but lesser aspect is this.
So can we take the example of the Pulwama attack and the Indian government retaliation of
Surgical strike. बट यहाँ पे सोल्जर के बारे में बात हो रहा है, राइट. सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक इज नॉट, सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक इज टॉकिंग अबाउट हार्ड पावर. वो जो इसके पहले वी हैव टॉक्ड अबाउट हार्ड पावर सॉफ्ट पावर डिबेट. दिस यहाँ पे सोल्जर की बात है, सोल्जर पेट्रियोटिज्म. दिस और सर्जिकल स्ट्राइक पॉलिसी की बात है, पॉलिसी मैटर, डिसीजन. दिस सो बोथ आर अ बिट डिफरेंट. देन सिविल लाइफ में पेट्रियोटिज्म क्या होता है, ये अगर आप बता दो तो समझ में आएगा कि 2 महीने का एफर्ट्स जो है वो कुछ ठीक ठाक है.
working for the society, working for the people of the country. Patriotism means scientific temperament could be development is also part of patriotic society.
जो भी civic values है उनको respect करना, उनको adhere करते हुए काम करना.
Working to promote social cohesion.
So like we are imbibing the patriotism, like respecting all the values of the constitution, all the things in our way of life, sir.
We can explain this in context in comparison to patriotism and nationalism, wherein we can define both these aspects like in civil life. Like nationalism is more in the sense of
नहीं, नेशनलिज्म का डिबेट नहीं है, ग्लोरिफिकेशन, yes, you can say. Then you have to, basically what you have to tell is, yes, this is how you have to tell that कि see, patriotism is not only related to those people who serve in defense forces. This patriotism means love for the country. love for the people. It is not only love for the image of the country, territory of the country. That becomes more of nationalism. The patriotism represents a sense of spirit of dutifulness. And that can be linked to any task that we do. A citizen can be dutiful not only when citizen serves to military, but a citizen is dutiful in any task. If a sweeper is doing his her task with duty, sense of duty, if an engineer, if a doctor, if an IAS officer, if a leader, if a banker, so all people are doing their duty. Yes. They should have love for their country. They should not destroy their own resources. They should not cheat their own people. They should not act against their own people. If they have love for the country, that is another service, and that makes also country strong. Even more strong than what military can make. Like say Japanese society, Chinese society. So Japanese society is that they act as Japanese, let's say that. So there is this who can say. But in Indian country, means India also, still there is a lack of Indianness. Right. There is lack of Indianness, that is called fraternity. The patriotism promotes fraternity also. But we lack fraternity. We are highly divided. Punjabi, this South Indian, Northeast, Marathi, Bihari, this. And we may join military as patriotism, but we do not show love to our own people in day-to-day life. Right? So that is how, let's say, that is called soft power. The patriotism can also imbibe soft power. And most country or no country can become strong unless at certain point of time it may have shown certain level of patriotism. That is how patriotism means in civil life on day-to-day basis. That is how you have to write on this. So that way you should try to. आप कोई भी illustration दिखा दो, मान लो जैसे इनकाउंटर हो रहा है, भैया किसको मार रहे हो यार? किसको मार रहे हो आप? राइट, वो आप ही का तो सिटीजन है ना. डू यू लव योर पीपल? If you love your people, you cannot be trigger happy. You are not patriotic. This same thing, you cannot burn the resources. बस को जला दिया, अजीब बात. अरे एक बस खरीदने में साला पूरा, सॉरी टू से दिस लैंग्वेज, राइट, आपको 7 जनरेशन लग जाएगा. दिस और कुछ नहीं हुआ, बस जला दिया. उधर सुबोध कुमार, इंस्पेक्टर सुबोध कुमार, दिस पुलिस इधर मारती है, लोग उधर मारते हैं. पुलिस स्टेशन ही जला दिया. If you have patriotism, you will not do that. You can give examples. आप प्रोटेस्ट करो, नेशनल रिसोर्स को डिस्ट्रॉय मत करो, आप ही का तो है वो. This is hot patriotism. Patriotism will imbibe love for your own people, which I say in past also, today I will say that also. It is love. आप hate करो. Hate the sin, not the sinner. What we are doing, right? We hate sinner. We could keep doing sins. Yes. So that is what it is trying to talk, the question. And that is how the answer can be written. Patriotism is a very sacred thing. This you should know. It is a very sacred thing in people, right? Which is for your country. And country means it is for your people. This. And when you love your people, you will not have hatred. Yes. Otherwise, you will have nationalism, not patriotism. Which we told you that day on this. Anyhow, let's take next. This is how national interest wala question. Interest of other nations. Moral realism. This part is about moral realism. This and it leads to tension and conflict. ये भी example दिया है हम लोगों ने कि how moral realism results into जो भी चल रहा है Ukraine and Russia, Palestine and this past में Iraq, you will find this Iran, Afghanistan, etc. The moral realism, it gives moral conflicts. Cold War क्यों हुआ? Power fight. Henry Kissinger belongs to this moral realism, like contemporary moral realism. Yes. Anyhow, उसके बाद क्या है? How can ethical consideration help resolve such tension? Now I will like you to discuss this with specific. How ethical consideration? Ethical consideration का relevance क्या है? This screen मारते ऐसे कीजिए. Yes.
Like it is the ethics or values that should guide our the quest for the power. Like we said that moral realism in the long term should be guiding the moral realism. So, moral realism can be for short term, but our aim should be to follow the idealism of that.
Yeah, the essence of reciprocity concept, like India does with their smaller neighboring countries.
See, ethics basically teaches some of the things. First, can we act beyond self? Because selflessness is the moral command. So we talk selflessness. Yes. So which situation we should be selfless? Should we have quid pro quo? Yes. So quid pro quo is not considered a higher order of conduct. Selflessness is considered as a higher order. So can a country go beyond her self-interest? This is one. Second, how security of a country is separate from security of another country. This how जैसे इजराइल है उनका सिक्योरिटी पैलेस्टीन से अलग क्यों है? Are you having two types of humans? So do you think that you as a human is superior to they as a human? Why you are not concerned about their security? Why you are only concerned about your security? Means why a country should be just concerned about its own security? Right? ये इजरायली क्या है? ये इंडियन क्या है? ये अमेरिकन क्या है? Who has created this? This, how does it come from? That Indian security is more important at the cost of killing others. So, is it ethical? This, so how can a country, then it creates dualism, it creates dual standard. This, you do not treat other humans as equal. Right. Then why you say humans are born free and equal? Why you are a signatory? This. See, humans should be concerned about security of others. आप जितना अपने do not do unto others as you won't be done by. Do not do unto others as you won't be done by. Will we apply here? Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Will we apply here? Right? Or these things are only for occasional talk. This is how ethical concerns you have to bring. Are we trying something hard to achieve? Something best to solve? Or we are just trying to be something at, let's say that our self-ego level satisfaction? This. So, ethical concerns or ethical understanding should bring this kind of knowledge. Right, which will be largely led by normative thinkers. those school, etc. Let's say you talk about democracy, but what about democracy? What is the foundation of democracy? Equality. Where is the equality? Will it apply only to UK people? देखो हर आदमी हर जगह अपने ये दिस और डैट वाली फाइट है ना, वो तो लड़ रहा है. दैट ये सोसाइटी जो आपने क्रिएट किया है, कमला हैरिस, शी इज नॉट अमेरिकन. आपको क्या लगता है? वो वाइस प्रेसिडेंट होके भी शी इज ह्यूमिलिएटेड एवरी डे. और कितना क्या करना होगा कि उसको अमेरिकन होना पड़ेगा? उसी तरह हर देश में ये है. वो ये कंसेप्ट हर देश में है. और कितना माइनॉरिटी को करना पड़ेगा कि लगेगा कि वो इंडियन है. और वो इन्हीं के ऊपर क्यों लगेगा? मतलब मेजॉरिटी वाला कुछ भी करे, मर्डर करे, करप्शन करे, ये करे, वो करे, लेकिन उसके ऊपर पेट्रियोटिज्म लागू नहीं होता है. लेकिन एक मुस्लिम अगर कुछ कर देगा तो देखो उसके बाद क्या होता है. मेजॉरिटी कम्युनिटी क्या बोलती है? एंड इट इज नॉट ओनली इन आवर कंट्री. Kamala Harris has the same challenge now. Yes. And US people, if they will not vote her, it is just because of this. She is not American. जबकि वो खुद ही अमेरिका के सारे लोग नहीं है 200 साल पहले. सॉरी टू से दैट. मतलब मैं अगर गाली देके बात करूं तो वो खुद ही साले नहीं है अमेरिका के. सॉरी टू से दिस लैंग्वेज. बट वो अमेरिकन बन गए. और 200 साल पहले चले जाओ. राइट. तो लेट्स से कोविड टाइप पे क्या होता है. कोविड टाइम क्राइसिस इन दिल्ली, तो केजरीवाल जी सेज दैट vaccines should be, vaccine no, first there's patients. The hospital should give first preference to Delhi people, not outsiders. This is how he spoke. And he is himself from outside. He is himself not from Delhi. तो क्या आपको ये सब समझ में नहीं आता है कि ये पावर है? Those who are in power, they will mold the policy to suit themselves, not to suit to humanity, and fooling you that this is a theory, this is a theory, this is a theory that applies, and you are forced to think as per theory, not as per your mind. इसलिए कि theory ऐसे कहती है. This is how it is. But theory may be given in that light. तो आई डू नॉट अंडरस्टैंड लेट्स से दैट कि आपका हमारा इंटरेस्ट आपकी इंटरेस्ट से अलग क्यों हो सकता है. दिस व्हाई योर लाइफ कैन बी सो इम्पॉर्टेंट एंड माई लाइफ इज नॉट सो इम्पॉर्टेंट. दिस बहुत सारे ऐसे वीडियोज मिलेगा यूट्यूब पे, तो जब हम देखते हैं तो हमारे माइंड में ऐसे सोच आती है. कोई एनी सोल्जर लेट्स से इन यूएस, he goes and meet his family after 6 months. Then let's say the family is so happy. He wants to give surprise to his family. He goes without telling to family. He meets, let's say his daughter or wife in a school. And then the happiness you can see on their face, that happiness on the face. They start weeping in happiness. Because a mother is meeting his son after 6 months. ठीक है? She is so happy. Now, let's ask that soldier how many people he has killed. What about their mothers? What about their feelings? This. And haven't you killed innocent people? This. Should you kill people at all? And their mothers? How your happiness is so, let's say that better or superior to others? That mother should be asked. The thing you are feeling happy for your son, you ask your son what he has done. This. And the way your happiness is important, similarly their mothers. जिस तरीके से आपने मर्डर किया है, इनकाउंटर किया है उस बच्चे को यूपी में, उसके मदर से जाके पूछो, राइट, उसके ऊपर क्या होगा. And murdering people like this, it shakes entire country like anything. This एक भी ऐसा encounter नहीं होना चाहिए, because it question the very integrity of the country. That is called ethical governance. It questioned the ethical governance of that chief minister, of that prime minister, or of that country. A state cannot kill an innocent person. This. And you are not judge. When he has committed crime or not, there is a system. Yes, नहीं तो कल को आपको encounter कर देंगे फिर. This. Let's be that tit for tat. Right. तो आप क्या कर रहे हो ये? Ethical aspect. You need to understand. Right? So ethics, this is how it is they are talking. Ethical means basically you have to apply normative approach. Normative understanding. By this way, question ने भी लिख दिया है कि conflicts बढ़ गया है. The question has told everything. You have to write in that order the 3 layers of the answer and write about normative aspect. Normative understanding is that it teaches to work together. It teaches to work together. There is one file, and we will, if you want to read, we will read it. अपलोड बहुत अच्छा फाइल है इंटरनेशनल रिलेशन के ऊपर. मैं इसका थोड़ा सा कोट्स, 1-2 कोट्स आई विल शो यू. I follow this, means although we follow so many things, but Mahatma Gandhi has shown something in this. It has also given some good things. How moral realists justify killing.
सर एग्जांपल्स में ब्राह्मण अकॉर्ड और गुजरात का फ्रेंड्स दे सकते हैं.
Yes, that can also be written. I think that I have skipped so far. Gujarat doctrine, you can write. Panchsheel can be referred. Not able to get it. Anyhow, let's. This is how, like, that statement I told once. So it is in conclusion, let's say, it says, let's say Mahatma Gandhi, let's say. The interest of this can be interest mankind. Someone has written, Trump ancestor went to US in 1890s from Bavaria. Yes, this is how we have to understand our roots. Do we know our roots? Yes.
Isn't patriotism in defense a pseudo concept like laying down one's life for the sake of country, for the territory of the other people?
ये वो narrow है मतलब. Basically, that is try to have both aspects. Many a time, for the sake of country, you should sacrifice. This is, yes, it can be considered. So patriotism can be like, say, a country faces challenge. Like, say, Ukrainians. When Ukrainians, they have to fight for their security. This, so that way we can consider that you need to have patriotism. Justified. This, but then in broader sense, let's say patriotism is not only related to fighting for. I will say it is more of day-to-day life. What you do in day-to-day life. This is a paper, very good paper, right? Right, means on international relation. If you get time, you should read it. It's very, let's say that, enriching. We will upload on portal, or you can get it. It talks about Chanakya, it starts with, this is how, so, and some other names also you can say this. Sun Tzu you can consider. Then Machiavelli, Thomas Hobbes, Spinoza you can say this. So they are belonging to that. Realist will find this. Moral realist. इसमें एक तो स्टेटमेंट है, बहुत अच्छा स्टेटमेंट है कि हाउ दे जस्टिफाई. This line, let's say. Question can be asked that way also. This Spinoza, let's say, taking this Machiavelli line, what is it? Only moral duty of a state internationally is survival, and in this context, might is right. This is power, might is right. And the state has right to expand and occupy territories. This power allows. जहाँ तक इसका पावर अलाउ करता है, right? Like Israel wants to have also Lebanon and others expanded Israel policy. This, so a state is under no moral or legal obligation to abide by treaties it has previously signed. It can break this. That kind of thing they are talking. State of nature. This. And then it will say that since others will not respond. So if others will not respond, so does it mean that you will not be moral? Or will you be moral only when others are moral? No. Will we be moral only when others are moral? Yes. Will you be moral when others are moral? That you can consider. So you have not received facts and examples. Okay, it will be given. We'll upload it on portal. Anyhow, so simply let's say there are some good aspect, justification, this of moral realism. If we have expansion policy, so what will happen? This, it will keep always country under conflicts.